So the strength conditioning, as far as with our MMA fighters, one thing that I really like about that, and we focus on, is the explosiveness, the explosivity, but also athleticism. How do we make him as athletic as possible so that he can be versatile? MMA is just that, mixed martial arts. And so there's a multitude of different movements, patterns that he's being asked to do. And so we want to make him as athletic and as prepared as possible through some of the training processes that we utilize.
I do strength and conditioning with Coach Fields. Yeah, the same thing that we did kind of to warm up. And I feel like for me, it's like injury prevention, you know, kind of learning how to balance my body in different motions or whatever, body awareness, you know what I mean, in different motions. Because some of those motions I don't necessarily do in MMA, but I want to be comfortable putting my body, if I tell my foot to go here, my foot needs to be here, you know? So strength and conditioning is something that really is like taking my game to the next level.
For me, I've been getting more into like running specifically recently, but then with running, doing some like more stuff to cross train from it, because you know, it can be kind of harsh on your joints. So doing like cycling and like different forms of working out. I really like to do yoga personally. That's something I really enjoy. And I feel like for me, the key for everything is like, because I sit so much in the day at a chair and I like play computer games all day, all my workouts I want to kind of be like doing the exact opposite. Like I want to, my body is going to get really like, you know, forward and hunched forward. So what can I do that like trains me in a way where I'm balancing that?
Also too, like, you know, I talk about like good posture and while we're working out, you know, a lot of times like boxers or like when I'm fighting or whatever, I want to be kind of like in a shell. So I'm kind of like kind of locked in. Yeah, kind of locked in. Kind of everything is like tight here. So that's not the best posture. So a lot of that strength and conditioning is that too. Like doing some opening. I'm never like really coming here when I'm doing like MMA stuff.
Exactly,
you know
but
I mean?
You don't want to be in a position where you're going to be like this the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Right? It's funny, but it's like you got to train what you don't do.
Yeah.
You got to train the exact opposite of what you actually want. Because if without balance, that's where injury comes from.
Exactly.
If you don't have balance, then you'll get injured.
Too tight or too loose, that's how, you know, things break or hurt, you know what I mean? Oh, also on that same topic, sleep is another thing that's like super important for me, and I've found, actually I found like as I can't get sleep because I have the kids or whatever, you know? But like speaking about that, like during my fight week, I've noticed that I've actually had more time to sleep if I have my camp kind of away from my family.
Makes sense.
You know, just because it's like less responsibilities. We all sleep in the same bed, so you know, so less people moving around, less, you know, things of that nature. So
yes, with little kids. I mean, I think that's a universal thing. I think anybody with little kids is like
waking up every 3 hours, you know. So I really I try to take advantage of the sleep, you know, like when I can get it.
I mean, you can't work out without sleep. You can't recover, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so crucial, and that's for esports too. Not many people in esports have young children, but But I certainly think that's a critical for anybody is getting that sleep.
Like as soon as I get my gloves on, as soon as I'm like stepping into the ring, I'm like, I'm doing one thing like I do everything, you know? So I'm becoming a different person. I'm becoming more vicious. I'm becoming like a very confident guy, you know what I mean? And that starts like soon as I get my gloves on and I'm walking in the cage. I'm grabbing behind the leg, behind the knees with my elbow creases, and then I'm gonna push in with my head,
and the chest.
and then I'm gonna drive him down to the mat. Okay?
Got it.
So that's a double leg takedown.
All right.
Boom. And then drive with your head. Drive your head that way.
Yeah, and keep, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Just like that, Okay, so.
Shoot and then.
It, like with
your chest.
With my chest.
First. So it's like shit.
But down here.
But down.
Level, there.
But my head's still
and then
tall.
I'm using my head. With your head tall. Because if your head is short, they probably gonna try to get their legs back and get you in the front headlock too.
Got it.
1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, last one. Nice job, man. Good job, brother.
Man.
Good job. Cool. So a big part, a super huge part, I would say like a pivotal part of like what I do, which I'm beginning to learn later in my career, is like nutrition or how I treat my body. I have a nutritionist that pretty much tells me, you know, what I need to eat, and I also, you know, do stuff on my own. My wife is vegan, so out of camp I'm a lot healthier than I was, and then in camp, you know, I'm not a robot, but I'm
pretty regimented.
Yeah,
like,
pretty
overall.
regimented, exactly, overall. So what's your nutrition like when you?
I mean, the thing for esports is this is an area that like is like kind of totally unexplored in esports. Like people generally don't think about it.
Yeah.
People generally just are like, you know, eat what you normally eat, whatever that. If you eat unhealthy, then eat unhealthy for the fight, like for the day of. Like, don't change it up.
Yeah.
So just do whatever you do. But I think, you know, and for me, I've sort of gotten into like eating a bit healthier in like, I've been, you know, trying to get into more fitness, like physical fitness stuff outside of the game, like running and cycling. So, you know, I can totally relate to what you mean. When you eat poorly, you feel it. When you're working out, you like know that you ate unhealthy. And that's a strong motivation, I think, to.
And I don't know if it's true or not, but I like feel like I don't know. I feel like I think clearer when I eat better. I don't know if it's a thing or not. I haven't done the research, but I feel like that's a thing, you know? I feel like I mean, if I'm like stuffed full off of mac and cheese, you know, I'm foggy, you know what I mean? I'm just, you know, not like, I'm not like as aware. I feel like I'm not like, my mind and body is not connected as much, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I just wanted to know your take on like
usually
how do you
I would
feel?
say I try to eat like a light meal. Like I wouldn't eat like a big meal for sure before a match.
Yeah.
Like whatever,
Well,
healthy,
I mean,
unhealthy, just eat light.
You get like groggy and, you know, if you're like super full. I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, or if you have to play like 2 matches in a day or something.
Yeah.
So, or it's like a LAN, you know, and you might have like an uncomfortable setup. You want to do everything you can to like mitigate that, and like you said, like mitigate that fogginess. So I think it is an area where esports has a lot of room to grow, honestly. Like we need to get better at understanding how like physical fitness, nutrition, like flexibility, mobility, and longevity, those are things they're all interconnected. And I think as time goes on and like the competition continues and continues, more and more teams are gonna like learn more about this and like optimize, do it a little bit better. And maybe for physical sports, it's like sort of been figured out a little bit more.
But they had to.
Exactly. But I think over time, esports will like learn from traditional sports and sort of figure out what makes sense for what we do.
5 minutes. Okay.
I think let's just get in there and let's just mess around.
Turn me out and finish me off.
So let's talk about kind of like when you get a team on the ropes, like what you feeling, what's going through your head, like do you feel like you need to be reserved for any reason or?
It's interesting. So for me, I was thinking this question is like, the answer for me is like, it's all a momentum thing. Because in the match, if your plays are working, I mean, obviously some of your plays are gonna work, but when the things start working like more and more and more and you're like winning like really quick, or like maybe like sometimes there's moments where like one player pops off really hard and like that player kind of like carries of that moment. And they like get a couple kills like maybe by themselves basically. And it's like, everybody is like, immediately like, I want some of that. Give me in on that. You know, and then so that can kind of feed into each other. And then you have multiple players, you know, on your team like keep putting out big numbers. You want to be like, so as soon as you see that, like you feel that energy, like your team, like their team's on the back foot. You know, maybe you got a kill, maybe you're shoving them away, maybe you're like forcing really good stuff. You feel that confidence, then it kind of accelerates from there. So you like, you know, by starting off and winning, and especially when you start winning maps and you're getting closer to like closing out the series, like really finishing the team off, usually there's like a big confidence in the comms. People are like really happy and they're feeling it. They're like getting hyped, and sometimes the calls are like not as clear, but usually it's like kind of because there's so much energy, people can feel the win. There's a balance to it. You have to keep playing smart. You know, you can't go crazy because you can throw those advantages away. So it's good to be like focused on what you need to do to win. So there's that balance of like riding the intensity, but not letting it get out of control. So finding that like how you contribute to that energy and then use that energy to, you know, make your plays, but still in like a smart way where you're you know, like you're not going to overextend yourself and get, you know, too confident.
Just in case,
exactly.
I would say this the same with MMA. I feel like fighting is like, it's kind of ego, it's kind of like animalistic, kind of like two bears, or, you know, like going at each other. sometimes the person who makes the louder noise or feels the most encompassing.
That size and strength,
you know what I mean?
Feel that confidence.
You feel that, that confidence or whatever. Usually the other one retreats, and the bigger the one gets, the smaller the other one gets. And that's kind of how I feel like while I'm fighting, right? I'm staying in good position. I'm looking for openings, trying to take advantage and make him do what I want him to do. Then they show me like weakness, maybe they winch or something really hurt them. And then like I'm huge. I'm a killer, you know what I mean? And I gotta take, it's time to end it. It's time to take this animal out of his misery and, you know, get him out there. So I'm attacking the spot that I hit him with, or I'm using that spot. I've now made him scared or hurt from that spot. So I'm using that to open up something else and then going back and forth until, you know, I can get him out of there or choke him out of there, you know, get him out of there.
Yeah, and that kind of comes like you were saying it over and over again when you were teaching me like some fundamentals is like, this concept of everything is about staying in control, staying on the offensive, because the moment you get that little, like you start to feel a little bigger, that's the most important one.
Exactly.
Because that's the moment where you're kind of both vying for like who can be on top, who can have the dominant
people
position.
think it's like those big, you know, those big moments of
where you
or
finish
laps
it
of,
off.
Yeah, that happens, you know, that happens because you took advantage of like the little spaces that you have, you know what I mean?
It's the
Especially
same in
at
the game where
level.
when you're still on that, exactly at the high level, when you're in that like 6-on-6 and nobody's gone down yet in Overwatch, both teams are still alive, they're trading abilities back and forth. That's the really most important moment.
Yeah.
Because once it opens up and like one team has an advantage,
it's
kind of elementary from there. It's like you just kind of, that's just like putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
You've done it a million times.
Like once you got the leverage, especially in MMA, like once you've got the leverage, it takes a lot of energy for the guy or whoever you're fighting to either get back the leverage or, you know, or
just
win.
equalize.
You know, or equalize. You know what I mean?
Because they're down. And then
and so
it's so much easier for you to pile on the pressure than for them to come back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, man. I love talking to you, but time to get that butt whipped, man.
Yeah, right.
I can't give you a thumbs up, but this is for all the people at home who say, I can fight those guys, I can take them. That's for you at home. That's for you at home. This is my move. This guy, don't take the fight against you, I'll tell you. I know y'all scared, you're right. There's a reason they don't take it.
Man, I really appreciate you coming into my wheelhouse, putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. Man, I appreciate you coming through, man.
Dude, that was incredible. It's like, you can feel the difference immediately. Like just staying in the ring with you. I mean, even before we started, I was like, I see you warming up. I'm like, oh boy. Maybe I should have gone easy on Overwatch. Oh boy.
For sure, but you whipped my ass, I whipped your ass, man, and it's all love, man.
That's what it's about.
So, hell yeah, all love.
All love.
Hopefully success in the future. I know you're gonna kill it.
I'm gonna cheer you on. I'm gonna come to your next fight.
I'm trying to come to the next Overwatch match.
Exactly. I think we realize like how similar we are and also how different our worlds are.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
like the similarities and differences are everything.
Yes, sir.
Boom.